What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get it in. Let's start out with a sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Hey, Dennis, how you doing, brother? Um, I'll put it up. Your message is up. Today was just filled with just more of the same First Amendment rights. Um, I do want to say, the Epstein files, released those. I always say that somewhere within the show, if not at the top. Epstein files need to be released. These children who grew up to be women, some troubled, some who unalived themselves, uh, all of them, nobody believed. Maybe their family, but the world didn't. They need to have, some kind of closure. And these men who did this need to be knocked down like several notches. Jail is too easy on them, but that's what they need to be in. Jail, prison, whatever it may be. Because I always say, pay attention to the details more so than just saying somebody's a pedo or whatever. Think about what they did to these children. Think about yourself at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. Think about you putting yourself in that same position. It didn't happen to you, but you should be able to visualize how fucked up it would be if it did. You shouldn't have to go through it to have some kind of emotion toward it. These fools are all up in like, oh my God, everything about Charlie Kirk, but these young children that turn into grown women, where was your ass then? Where were we all? It's still happening. These people are still out there doing this to 12, 13, 14, 15, and some sick bastards are even younger than that. Not that they aren't all sick bastards, but some are even going younger than that. I remember I lived in the suburbs, and there was this old white guy would sit on the porch. I would run around the block, 3, 4 miles, 5, whatever it may be. And I would see this old dude sitting on the porch. I remember him having on burgundy, like a darker red, sitting on the porch, rocking back and forth. This is in California. And he'd just be looking at everybody pass by. And every time I saw him was usually around the time when, kids and stuff like that. The school was right down. He lived right next to a school. I did too, but I was on the other side. And this old white dude, when I go by, he would say hi or whatever. But he's kind of old, kind of really kind of rough voice, kind of shaky voice. And he would say hi, and I'd say, hey, how's it going? And keep going. Think nothing of it. I always thought like, oh man, nice neighbors outside when you're running. That's nice, motivating you and so forth. I come out one day, and the police officers are surrounding the house. And I'm running down that street. It's going downhill. I'm running down that street, and I see these officers, and I just start slowing down. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they told me to keep going. So running down the hill, at the base of the hill is the park where the news anchors and stuff were at. And I used to be in that industry and knew some people. And I saw one of the people I had worked with before. So I walked up to him and asked him. I said, what's going on? He said, you know that house? I said, yeah, I run by it all the time. This old white dude, just, he's pretty cool. He said, he ain't cool, bro. I said, why? Because he was a pedo. And I said, oh shit, my kids are around this fool. And my kids had to be, my son had to be like 5. I don't know if my daughter was born yet. She was a baby if she was 5 or 6, and she was maybe 1 maybe. And he was like, yeah, he was a pedo. And I was like, all right. I said, that's fucked up. So he's like, he said, dude, it's like, it's worse than fucked up. I said, well, why do you say that? Because his affliction or whatever the fuck he did was with babies. This woman used to bring over babies to his house. I mean, toddlers, like not even toddlers, like wham, babies. That was his thing. I wanted to beat his ass, but the cops already had him. These people are fucking sick. And where are we? we passing the day by like, oh, it's okay, you know, we're gonna get them eventually. No, if this was your child, you would have did to that person anything and everything. Fuck the law. So we need to find these men. We can't just keep letting time go by and make it seem like it's nothing. There are too many women out there still scared to this day. They don't know when one of these rich people gonna pop up. When you got money like that, anybody can show up at your house. The fact that the woman that blamed Donald Trump, the woman who was 13, that said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, she disappeared. That's what money will do. That type of fear, that and evil, not just money, evil people who have money. That's what that will do. So she is in the win. On top of that, it made the judge kind of skeptical of her too, which that's what money does as well. Not all of these judges out here are worth a damn. I would say most of them are. That's just my personal opinion. So we got to consistently talk about that, even though the news and other people will stop talking about it. We got to talk about it every day until these people are caught. And not just to talk about it, be passionate about the fact of finding them. Just the energy of us putting it out there every day, that energy will end up producing something. It's only because Donald Trump and those sick men and some women, I'm sure, think that you're going to stop talking about it, that they think it's going to fall apart and it's going to fall to the wayside. And it has for decades upon decades. We stop talking about it and go about our life. Can't stop talking about it. I have to talk about it every day. Every day. Not just me. All of us have got to had to put those words in our mouth. Find the Epstein files or release them. This past week, Kash Patel or Cockeye Kash Patel got caught in a couple times, lying his ass off. He's under oath. I don't know why they don't do anything to these people. Under oath, you can be charged. He lied under oath more than once. He said that the only people that he knew that Jeffrey Epstein or any files, whatever, did anything with other people or trafficked anybody else was just to himself. And then later, another, I think it was in the House, maybe the first time it was the Senate, whatever it may be, but in the House, they asked him and said, so you only to himself, huh? And again, Kash Patel don't know how to answer these damn questions. All he knows how to do is do his podcaster shit. Bitch and moan, complain, go off on everybody, won't answer the questions. I'm sorry, bro, you're not a podcaster right now. This is why you're not professional. You are in a position in which the people that you are talking to make decisions for your department, like fund that bitch. And you are talking to them like they're children. They're asking you a question. Have the fucking answers. This man didn't know who the hell Dylan Roof was. Had no clue. I bet you whatever the fuck he is. I don't know what he is. Is he Indian? Is he whatever? But I bet you if that white dude went in and shot up a bunch of his family members, his ass would have remembered that shit. People who shot up whatever race he is, if they shot up a church, a white guy shot up his church, he'd remember that shit. Or somebody's church that was just of his nationality or ethnicity. He'd remember. But because he thinks he's white and he runs with them, he has no idea. FBI, the head of the FBI, this is a killing that was done racially. Every FBI person should know about it because it was national news for one. And he's the one that's claiming, oh, I've been in the industry for 16 years, but you don't remember the most important cases? That was one of the most important cases you guys had. Remember, that's the fucker you guys took to the fucking Burger King or whatever before you took him to jail. Instead of giving him like all kinds of knuckle sandwiches, which you would have gave a black guy if he had killed a bunch of white people in church. You took him out to eat. What does that say to the rest of society? You gave a killer, killed 9 people praying to God that were black. If those, and then it kills me, these black people were praying and being welcoming to this white kid that, oh, come on in. God is good. God is for all of us. Come on in. Walk, sit down. And he hated them from the moment he walked in, plotted to unalive 9 people in the church of God. That's what they believe. And he walked out stoic, like nothing ever even happened. And Kash Patel don't even remember it. It's all over the news. And that's his job, to know what type of killers are out there. I don't know what this country's up to, yo. I do understand that white nationalism is so much on the rise that people like Kash Patel are looking the other way. Looking the other way. You don't hear anything? Nobody can hear me? Or are you talking to somebody else? But it's just insane. I'll wait to see if anybody's hearing me. I see Cole Auctioneer say he doesn't hear anything. I'm seeing levels, so the first person saying that they can hear me. 14 souls killed in the boat. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you, Vera. In that boat, the first one, I think it was 11 or something, right? Is that what you're talking about? But that was just innocent people that they say it was gang affiliated or whatever. I don't know. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Deborah. Okay, you can hear well. Cool. So I don't know what that's all about. But he was talking about all the information that he had about the Epstein files. One of the, I think it was a House person. I'm not sure if he was in the House or Senate. I can't remember. He's in both this week. But he asked him the question, did he know how many times Donald Trump was in the Epstein files? He was so like, I don't know. You going to tell me that you don't know? How many times you going to tell me that you are the head of the FBI? You're the one that released agents from doing their regular fucking jobs, protecting American citizens, to go for 24 hours straight on a shift looking for Donald Trump's name. And by the time you get that done, you don't bring Donald Trump the information or anything of that nature, Pam Bondi the information to let him know what was the efforts. What did you receive out of 24-hour shifts for men and women who are in the FBI searching through documents? The urgency to have somebody working 24-hour shifts to count Donald Trump's name in the document. First of all, how many damn times he got to be in there for you to be searching for 24 freaking hours a day? That's all there is. They woke up, was in that bitch, 24 hours. Shifts. And you don't know, Kash Patel, how many times Donald Trump's name was in it? That's bullshit from number one. Number two, you were the one that was on your podcast complaining and saying the FBI has this information and they can release it. Now you're in the FBI, all of a sudden, you can't release shit. You don't have access to it. You have access, but you can't give up certain information. So when the FBI were saying this when under Biden, you were saying you know the truth and they're lying. Now that you're in, you're saying what? That you're lying now? Because I thought you said you knew the truth, that you had worked in the FBI before. And you knew the rules and the protocols. And now you're saying that there's laws against it. There's some kind of order that you can't do it. There's no order for that. The order is for the grand jury information. And that's a small piece of it. That was a grand jury. The grand jury, they don't take all the information to the grand jury. They only take enough to prove their case. Remember, a grand jury can get a grand jury to say yes. It's like something about a bologna sandwich or whatever. Just like you can get a bologna sandwich. It's some kind of reference to bologna sandwich for that shit. And so that's how easy it's supposed to be. So that means they give you so much information to get basically a yes from the grand jury. The bulk of it is not used. So what we have is just the minimum. And the majority of it, like I said, if you have a 10-foot by 12-foot by 11-foot high ceiling room, if you can think of that in your head, 12-foot Shaq is 7 foot tall, 5 foot taller than him. If you're a basketball person, just think of Shaq and like Muggsy Bogues standing on top of him, on his shoulders, that high documents, and just them laying down about the same feet. Whole room filled with documents. That's how many documents that are about this person. And he's talking about this small amount that they took to the grand jury, what they can't release. Even the judge was like, I can't do anything with the documents you didn't bring, but the ones you brought and talked to, I can't have those people released, but you can give this information. So they've been using that so that they don't release the remainder of it. So the thing is Donald Trump can release it tomorrow. Remember, if you do remember this, this was in Donald Trump's first term. He was in the Oval Office, which was odd as hell for them to be there. And two leaders from Russia were in the room, and he was trying to impress them that he gave them classified information while they were in the room talking to him. He gave classified information. And then the Republicans came out to cover for him and say a president can declassify any files that he wants, anytime that he wants. But he didn't declassify them. He told them. And for them to save him, they said he declassified them. He didn't declassify shit. He just exposed our secrets. Yeah, if you don't remember that, you can go back and look. And then they made it seem like he can automatically just change shit on the fly. So if he wanted to, he can give them the codes to our nukes and be like, well, I declassified them. Based on Republicans in 2016, 17, around that time. 17, 18, rather. So Donald Trump at this moment could say, you know what, just release them. Based on Republican ideology, our secrets, they allowed them to be given by Donald Trump on the fly and covered for him. How the hell can't you release these? You know why? Because Donald Trump don't want them released. Why? Because his names are in them. His names are in them. His name, rather. And here's the thing. Republicans and some Democrats and even some of the victims have given Donald Trump leeway and said he may not have done anything bad. We're not coming after you. We're trying to get the people who did it. Don't protect Donald Trump don't give two shits about any of these other rich people. This is the same man that got on and gave a rehearsed speech about Charlie Kirk. Rehearsed speech about, and we need to do this, and it was the liberals who did it, and blah, 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 and we feel bad for the family, and he's reading the script. The next day or so, Charlie Kirk, if he just was put in the grave, but I think he wasn't even in the grave yet. How you doing, Donald Trump? How you holding up with one of your closest friends, just passing away or some shit like that? I'm fine. Look over here. These trucks are actually putting in a dance floor, They've been trying to do this forever. Look at them just loading these nice trucks. He's hurting. Pain. So much so, he's like, fuck him. Let's talk about this damn shit over here. That's tantamount of what he said. Fuck that dude, Charlie Kirk. I'm gonna go over here and talk to this dude. I'm gonna talk. Look at the pretty shit over here. Look what I'm doing. I mean, how so dismissive? Like you care about somebody. If somebody you care about, somebody you consider to be a close friend, the bullshit that he said scripted in front of the camera, the bullshit he said about giving a shit about Charlie Kirk, his friend and all stuff like that. How in the hell? I got friends who have passed away. I wasn't even there. Okay? And I found out, I cried that day because I thought about my friend, how we grew up together. Donald Trump was talking about this dude, such a friend. This man didn't have not one emotion that showed he gave a fuck. Days later, asked about him, he didn't have any good words to say about Charlie Kirk. He said, I'm fine. Look over here. You fine already? Huh. That's the true shit. And if you really want to get to the thick of it, Jimmy Kimmel showed that video, put Donald Trump on blast. If you saw that Donald Trump video, not Donald Trump, but Jimmy Kimmel video, he literally showed Donald Trump. He said, you know somebody else who's really just torn up about it? Donald Trump. Let's watch. And then he showed Donald Trump saying that exact thing I just said. And look over here. And then they came back to the audience and laughed. That's what they were pissed about. He showed Donald Trump to be a fucking hypocrite to his own people. Because see, they didn't watch Donald, whoever was there. I don't know if it was Jonathan. It wasn't Jonathan Carl. That was John Carl or somebody else. They didn't watch that clip because it was mostly on liberal media. It wasn't on Fox. So they don't see it. But people do watch Jimmy Kimmel, and they talk about it at the water cooler, so to speak, at work. And so it's kind of hard for them to miss. And when they see these little clips, that was it for them. And he sent out his little henchman. Remember, Michael Cohen told us a while back ago that Donald Trump was a mob boss type. He did mob boss type shit. He never told you what he wanted you to do because he didn't want to be liable. He would just say stuff like, it would be kind of messed up if he lost his show, wouldn't it? And then they go and act and help people lose their show. The Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC, I believe, chairman, he goes on to Benny Johnson's podcast and he talked like a mob boss, like the enforcer for a mob boss. Sure would be kind of messed up, if something happened. The fuck are you talking about? We can do it the easy way. We can do it the hard way. But either way, I'm going to win whatever I need to get done. Within a short amount of time, less than a day, I think it was within hours, they wrote up a letter and suspended Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely. First Amendment rights. That's our rights. You can't tell me what I can and cannot say. I don't care if it does hurt your feelings. Who gives a fuck about all that? You know how many people out here say stuff that hurts my feelings, and I don't have no problem with you saying it. Say what you got to say. Again, like I said before, there are consequences and repercussions for things we say, but you can still say them. In this situation, he didn't say anything bad. I thought he had said something like egregious when I first heard him. Like, what? What did he say? And I couldn't find a clip for shit. Not the full clip. I found little pieces of it. And then I found the full clip, and I'm like, who would get fired over that? And for me, I look at it and say, where's the lie? When I look at MSNBC, and I hear a few people like Chris Forgot his name. I'll do a lot of his. I watch his show, pieces of his show. All in Chris Hayes, I guess that's his name. Um, he has this hyper fixation on paying attention to every little word. Like, this is what he meant. I'm like, you don't know what he meant, because it could mean more than one thing. He said that they were trying their best to do everything to put it on everybody else except for people, in his own group. This kid was raised by Republicans. You don't think, you got Donald Trump out there calling him liberal. Where's a liberal that raised him? Where's a liberal in his family? Do we know if the person that he's supposedly in love with, if that person is Republican, liberal, Democrat, or no party whatsoever? We have yet to hear anybody in this boy's life that is a liberal. Yet Donald Trump, yet Fox, yet all conservative media, all conservative podcasts, people who are Scott Jennings on CNN, they've all pushed it toward Democrats. And it is nowhere near a Democrat, nowhere near a liberal. None of us are even in that story. It's like you tell a story, and it's about there was this family. They were Republican and MAGA, and they had a young boy. And that young boy grew up to be the killer of Charlie Kirk. In that story, there are no fucking liberals. There are no fucking Democrats. But in that story, you find Republicans who don't want to take responsibility for raising this little bastard. They want to sit here and say, he must have got liberalized. Where we're at, you don't have any facts. The facts we do know, he was Republicanized because he was raised around that shit his entire fucking life. He was 12 when MAGA took a hold. And if his parents, like his grandmother said, they all were batshit crazy basically over MAGA. So why wouldn't Jimmy Kimmel be able to say he was raised MAGA? Nobody said he voted MAGA. They said he was raised MAGA. Was he not raised MAGA? 12 years old, his entire family's MAGA. That ideology is in him more than liberal. We don't have any documentation that says he's a liberal. None whatsoever. They try to run with every little tidbit. It said fascist on it. So let me get this straight. On one of these things it says something about fascists. You forget to look at the other ones, and they all are things like memes from a game. And the way they talk on like Discord and certain gaming rooms. That has nothing to do with liberal or conservative or Republican or Democrat or independent. Ain't got shit to do with it. It has to deal with their own little world. So the only political thing that we know of this boy is his parents. He left his parents. Here's the thing that kills me too. If they say that, okay, he didn't become a Republican like his parents. He became somebody who had no party. So what would that tell you? I mean, let's just deduct from this. Let's just look at this for a second. If I'm going to rebel against my parents who've been Republicans their entire life, if I'm going to rebel against you, what's the best way to get to you if I'm a rebel? That is to go out there and sign up as a Democrat. Right? That's the total opposite of what mom and dad are. Yet, he didn't go sign up to be a Democrat. So that told you that he don't like Democrats because of the fact that he went no party at all. So that means he's washed his hands of that whole entire system. Fuck them. I ain't got nothing to do with Republicans. I damn sure ain't got nothing to do with Democrats. So you raised by Republicans, you choose no party instead of choosing the Democrats. Tells me you ain't got shit to do with the Democrats. You don't believe anything about Democrats because you would have went the total opposite way if you were going to rebel against your parents. And that's what they're trying to say. Rebelled against his parents and become this. You don't have any proof for that. And what kills me is MSNBC. All these other people are, well, he really wasn't MAGA. You don't know that. You have no fucking idea what he was. You just know this. He wasn't Democrat. He never signed up for a Democrat. He signed up for no party at all. So that means he was not affiliated with Democrats, liberals, nothing. The only thing he had in his life and in his spirit was Republican and MAGA. That's the only thing he was raised around since he was fucking 12. And you know his parents was batshit crazy Republican before that, because who else would join the fucking MAGA gang? So his entire life he's been around Republican, conservative, and then batshit crazy MAGA. And you're going to sit here and take a whole life, a whole resume of being around batshit crazy MAGA, and then talk about in just a few days, a few months, maybe a year or two, he's all of a sudden liberal. But there's no evidence of him being liberal. None whatsoever. And Jimmy Kimmel's fucked up to say that he was raised by MAGA. I was raised by a Democrat. You wouldn't be fucked up to say that I had Democrat values, even if I decided to become independent. That could just mean I'm just tired of Democrat ways, but that don't mean I'm far left, or far right rather. It just means I want my party to work harder for what I want. So I'm dropping out. I ain't gonna give you no more power, but I'm dropping out. But I'm not gonna go Republican. That makes more sense, right? But they're over there on their side, Republican side, literally saying that it's liberal. Democrats own it all, Nancy Mace, all that. Donald Trump calls it the liberals are the ones who's doing it. You got Jesse Waters. You got Brian Kilmeade. Do y'all know Brian Kilmeade's ass got on Fox and said that what happened to Jimmy Kimmel was just responsibility for his actions? Here's something I want y'all to understand. This is what I can't stand about the MAGA and Republican people. He had no humility. Just days before, he was on Fox saying that we should involuntarily euthanize homeless people. And now he's on Fox with a little box beside him saying, you know, that Jimmy Kimmel it's a product of his responsibilities. He should have just never said it. Jimmy Kimmel just said this kid was a part of a MAGA family, which assumes that he has some MAGA in him, which has to be true. Spent his whole life around him. It's in his system. Whether he likes it or not, it's in his system. Just like anything else, if your mom and dad raised you to be a conservative, and you found that to be even repulsive when you got older, you're still going to have conservative ways. You're going to be like, oh yeah, what are you doing? So, well, I'm just saving this over here. You know, I was raised that way. I just can't get it out of my system. But it's like that is normal. This boy never had liberal upbringing, so how could he ever have a liberal anything? But it was okay for them to call them the liberals are the ones who are responsible, Democrats responsible. But you want to fire people saying that the Republicans, the MAGA was responsible. The MAGA in this boy. Never mind the fact that the kid had guns. Never mind the fact that the parents said he was acting odd, right? Never mind they said he started talking more political. And here's the thing that kills me too, because you got, what's her name, Candace Owens out here spewing the family called me. You know what kills me about these people when they do this shit? Because I would never do this. If a family called me and told me some information, I'm like, if I can't use your name, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear I can use a family name and get this information. I don't want it. Why would I need it? Because all I'm doing is gossiping because you aren't going to ever come forward. So I got information that can't be fucking validated. But I want my ratings to go up. I want to make more money. This is what kills me. These bastards want so much money that they don't give a fuck about whose life they fuck up in the process. She's literally talking about this trans person and has no fucking idea who he is or she is. And because she can't stand, she has a precursor. She automatically came pre-equipped with hatred toward trans people. And she is stuck on trying to destroy whatever that trans kid is. Now, I'm not saying that the trans kid couldn't be bad. I don't know. That's going to have to work its way out with the information. But we don't have any information. And she's saying some family member hit her up and said all this other shit. And I'm like, girl, I wouldn't trust you if you told me the truth. I wouldn't trust you. If I saw the truth go down and you was right next to me and you turned to me and said, you know what? I just saw what you saw. I'd be like, I ain't listened to a fucking word you say. I don't need your validation. I don't need your information because it's going to always come out skewed. We can look at the exact same thing, but you will blame the person that's black even though the white person shot the black person. I ain't got time for that shit. You got the question, oh, well, why would the white person want to shoot him? I don't need to know that. I saw him shoot him, point blank, period. He's in the wrong. I don't need to know like whether that black guy used to, when he was a kid, used to bite his mother's nipples. I don't give a fuck. You guys be going too far back into life. The shit just happened right now. Why the fuck you going way back? Because you're trying your best to demonize the person that got harmed while trying to make the person who didn't get harmed into something, the person who harmed the person into some kind of savior. And that's just some weird affliction in people's minds. I don't understand why you try to make somebody innocent when they obviously look guilty. Now this kid, the trans kid, we don't know any information about. Not at all. That they're cooperating. The other one is not cooperating. And now you're digging in and trying to find some shit that you're finding gossip from family members. And you'll notice, you listen to what she said, she'll say that it was a specific person, like somebody, she mentioned the person is, then she goes into just like a generic, like someone close to the family. I'm like, is it a family member or somebody close to the family? And I'm like, and they reached out to you. I know they fucked up if they read out to you. I wouldn't trust a fucking word they say if they reached out to you first. Because they know you will lie. You're the same woman that told people you did a voiceover explaining that Christopher Columbus discovered America. Your voice is on that forever. Not unless they scrubbed your voice when they kicked your ass out. And that's a fucking lie, and you know it. It is crazy how these people will take money and fuck everybody's life over just so they can make money and buy some bullshit ass Birkin bag or car and all that. These things mean more to you than people. That is highly fucked. And there ain't no way in hell you make it into heaven. No way. You have put material shit in front of people. God didn't say nothing about love your fucking BMW. He said love thy neighbor. And how the fuck you love your neighbor when you can throw him under the bus just to get a BMW? Or whatever thing you got. Birkin bag, a new home, $10,000, $100,000, whatever it is. You would throw people under the bus just so that you can get money. That right there to me is fucked up. You're a fucked up human being. Anybody who does that is a fucked up human being. What do I have for you guys today? First video I got coming up. The FCC chair. He kind of like doubled down. He threatened ABC about firing Jimmy Kimmel. They end up, he even suggested suspension. And then almost immediately, they suspend him. He was getting ready for his show. How do I know he's getting ready for the show? Wanda Sykes was supposed to be on the show. If y'all didn't see her today, she had her makeup on and everything ready to do the show, and they canceled that shit while she was getting ready for said show. And they put that shit indefinitely. Not 2 weeks suspension, not a month suspension. Whenever we feel like we want you to come back, we'll come back. Jimmy Kimmel, I know you're suing for some billions of dollars or whatever, or at least $1 billion. I hope you win, bro. Break the fuck out of him. If you just send in for $1 billion, you should sue for 15, because that's what Donald Trump tried to do. Sue for $15 billion. If you can, make that shit $150 billion. Break the fuck out of them as far as I care. They need to crumble. Fucking with First Amendment rights. At the top of this, you can see the petition I have. You can sign that. I was in the process of, before I came on, to update it and give you guys a script to read and call some of these places, ABC and Disney. And once I hit send, it kicked me out of the account. So I'm still trying to get back into it from change.org. So I got some kind of tech issue I got to work with. So you can imagine how pissed off I was before I went live. But I'll keep you up to date about that. I don't know if it sent it out before it kicked me off, whatever, but you can still sign up for it. Yeah, DJ. They want him to apologize. Jimmy Kimmel. Right here, brother. Right here. Don't pay them a fucking dime. No sorries, no nothing. If anything, come up with another fucking joke that's just as harsh as the last one in their eyes. Actually, I'd make it worse. I would make it worse than what they believe. If they thought it was so bad, I would come up with another one that's fucking like egregious. Egregious. I would say something to the fact that, what did somebody say? No, I ain't gonna say because I don't know if that's a fact or not. But find something factual about Charlie Kirk and say some shit about him. I dare you. Do it. Double dog dare you. Triple dog dare you. Say something about it. Fuck saying sorry. Go in on his ass. I don't give a fuck if he's dead. Posthumously, go in his ass. Go in on it because, again, his death was horrific. But they're trying to turn his death into a weapon or instrument to fuck with people's lives. He was not a good person. And I'll reiterate this shit. He's in hell, not heaven. 100%. 100%. There ain't no doubt in my mind he's in hell and not heaven. He could never make it into heaven. Many people can't, based on that Bible, can't make it into heaven. None whatsoever. His mistake was thinking that Jesus was white. Anybody who thinks that is going straight to hell. Because in the Bible it says, no worshiping false idols. That Jesus you see with white hair, with blonde, with blue eyes and brown hair, sandy brown hair, there's no way in hell that person could have survived in Egypt not Egypt, but at that time in Jerusalem. There's no way. Middle East doesn't look nothing like it. Brown Jew. And one person came to me and said, hey, he's black. I said, do I look black to you? This is black. So being a brown Jew can still be looking like me. So don't get it twisted. Don't get all into the weeds of it. The book says brown, burnt, whatever the hell some people have burnt. Some people say it's like burnt furnace or whatever. I didn't see that part. But brown. All I know is he ain't this color. He ain't that color. And that's the color you see on the wall. So if you're worshiping a false idol, there's no way in hell you can make it into heaven. That's the way the book says. I don't say that. I just read the book. I'm no longer a Christian, by the way. I believe in God, but I'm not a Christian because I can't believe in something that is used to turn people toward hate more than love. God is love, but every church I see is built on hate and not love. I don't see them talking about everybody, the homeless all the way up to billionaires, as people or children of God. I see them always judging somebody else. And in the Bible, it says, judge not, lest ye be judged. And you still acting like you Jesus and you God and you can judge somebody. I know you're not making it to heaven. And people look at me and say, well, you're not going to make it either. I never said I was going to. But I know one thing. I'm not going to be held to the standard of knowing what Jesus looked like and worshiping a white Jesus. I know that part. I passed that test. You failed it. So you know damn sure you ain't getting in. I probably got other things. No problem. I'm a human. I got other sins that I got to deal with. But that one, take it off. You got that one. You go to church every day, every week, and see that same white God, you can't get into heaven. That dude has to be changed into a brown Jesus, or you can't get into it. You can't be worshiping something that Jesus is not. It says you can't worship a false idol. Just want you to know that. And it ain't because I hate her. Dude, my entire life, I thought the dude was white because my church told me that shit. And I went to multiple churches because I was a latchkey kid. And I delved into the Bible to find a connection to God myself because I got tired of hearing multiple pastors read the same passage and have a different perspective on it, and casting all kind of aspersions toward people who read it differently, to the point where I said I got to get a connection with the God on my own. And when I started reading on my own over and over again, I started realizing they don't know what the fuck they talking about most of the time, because it says Jesus is brown and y'all got all that shit wrong, and that's just basics. That's before you start paying attention to all the nuances of what he's saying. You're looking at somebody else that's, you think this person wrote this or gave it to the disciples. That dude didn't know a disciple. So I get tired of people talking about like they know God and know Jesus. You don't. If you're looking at that white dude, you don't know Jesus. You know a perception of what Jesus is. And that's a false idol. It says it in the Bible. Sorry. That's good, Waterbug. In my little church. Where you going to a little church? You said little church. It sounded like a little house on the prairie church. Like y'all got like 15 people there. That's what made me think of when you said little church. I went way back. Walnut Grove and shit. But anyway. Yeah, but anyway, that I get off on a tangent with that sometimes, because these people, like that person reached out to me and was talking about, I'm like, man, read your Bible more. Quit. Don't come to me with that. There's so many other verses in there, but the basics of who the person or what the person looked like, if you believe in that, you can't say anything. I'm not lying. Everything I'm saying is factual. You know what? There shouldn't be any images. I wouldn't think there should be any images myself. You know, because anybody you put in there can be worshiping somebody he's not. But you should all in your head know that the person was brown and was a Jewish person. You know, but you know why it was done, just so that you can make one culture look more godly than the other, right? So therefore you make yourself a supreme being because you look like Jesus. Then if that's the analogy, then brown people look like Jesus and white people don't. But you never really walk around hearing black people just uttering, you know, basically like, oh, I'm Jesus. I look more like Jesus than you do. But you see that shit all over the place, painting pictures all over the place, looking like white dudes left and right, blue-eyed, blind. You see so many different versions of them. It's just ridiculous. Passion of Christ, which I kind of like the movie, but again, I knew it was the wrong person that you cast, but that's what they're caught up on. They believe that shit all about, and it's so funny and ironic. They're professing God while knowing they going to hell. Well, they think they aren't, but they haven't read the Bible. Whenever I see stuff like that, it kills me, because I sit there and listen to pastors speak, and I'm like, you have not read the Bible, and you're preaching it. Because that dude, that's not Jesus, and you know it, not even close. But that makes you feel powerful because he looks something like you. And you're preaching to people not the gospel, but the lies. Because if you can't talk, you can't be truthful about who he was. You can't profess to know what he was or what he wants, because you're thinking of it from a perspective of that white dude. You think that you, as a white person, have the word better in your heart and your spirit, the way you translate it, than anybody else. When in reality, the book is the book if you believe in it. That's why I believe in God and a higher being, and I'm not all into religion. Because in this country, and probably in this world, I haven't been to a lot of places throughout the world, just a few. But I know in this country, indoctrination is strong. And the reason why they do it is to have control over you. You see this last election, all these church spewing all this hatred for Donald Trump. You ask yourself, why do you, and then Paula White talking about he's like the second coming. That's so sacrilegious. That woman going to hell in a handbasket. There's no way in hell you can sit there and think of him as Jesus brought him here. No. It just bothers me. I'll get off of that. I'll get off of it. But that's the shit that gets me. that you go to Jesus looks like the people in that country, right, Jorge? That's what it's all about. You know, everybody wants to and make them in their image. And I was like, you can make the Jesus in your own image all you want. But what it says is that, you know, what he looks like is what he looks like. Do we know the details? Did he have a mustache? Did he have a beard? Did he have brown eyes? Did he have, you know, whatever? You know what I'm saying? Was he blind? No, we don't know all that stuff. If you are a Christian, you don't know all that stuff. You're just guessing. But just the idea of knowing the Bible and knowing what it is, it's better to, you know, for me, I look at it, that's check mark. If I ever make it into heaven, if you believe in it, that one won't be the one I get hung up on. Let's put it that way. I got my little check mark. But anyway, so you got Brendan Carr out here double downing on the crap that he said after he threatens ABC and they get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. He says something like this.
We're in the midst of a massive shift in dynamics in the media ecosystem for lots of reasons. Again, including the permission structure that President Trump's election has provided. And I would simply say we're not done yet with seeing the consequences of that shift.
Well, what does that mean when you say you're not done yet, then? I mean, will you only be pleased when none of these comedians have a show on broadcast television?
No, again, it's not about any particular show or any particular person. It's just we're in the midst of a very disruptive moment right now. And I just frankly expect that we're going to continue to see changes in the media ecosystem.
The Republican, or I think it was CNBC he was on, so I think it's more of a financial show doing interviews. They said what it looked like. He had it right. He wants to get rid of people who have a issue with Donald Trump. And it just so happens that these are the two that were the top people, that were the most popular people on late night, Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert. The number one was Stephen Colbert, that talked about Trump, and now they've both been kicked off. Now, Stephen Colbert is gone for good. He didn't have an indefinite. They're gone for good. They're going a whole different direction. I will be following him wherever he goes, decide to go. I will follow him. I really liked his work. But you have, you know, this Brendan Carr being the hitman for Donald Trump. You didn't see him go off on Brian Kilmeade and cancel them for saying that homeless people should be involuntary murdered. They ain't even said one word about that. Not one word. Pretty fucked up. And if you really wanted to know why this man is doing it, he tried to act like, you know, it may, you know, I'm just trying. It's not one individual person like that. We're just trying to change the landscape. He's basically trying to get rid of all the liberal or Democrats that speak up against Donald Trump because he's too pussy to have anybody say anything about him. Remember when Obama lit into his ass? He just sat there. I promise you, he was crying inside. Why he don't like me? And then he had to turn on his hate machine because, again, he wants to be loved by everybody because mommy didn't love him. And you can tell why she didn't love your ass. You ain't lovable at all. We know your wife don't love you. Your kids don't love you because you're not a lovable human being. You are to be disgusted to be a part of your realm. People hate you because you are a hateful person. What you give is what you receive. You don't ever give love. You always want it. And you always F everybody over, which kills me. People lend him money. He never pays back. Elon Musk gave him $100 million, or a little bit over $100 million. He didn't pay it back. I got your money. Get the fuck away from me. I don't care. Miriam, is it Edelson or whatever? Adelson? $300-something million. Where's she at? Nowhere in the mix anymore. Because he just takes people's money and walks away. What you gonna do? He's the president now. I don't need you. I can, bribe everybody to give me money. ABC gave me money. He bribed John Carl. I even bribed him. He threatened him, saying we can go after you. I think we should go after you. That ain't nothing but what's his name? Brendan Carr went after ABC shortly after Donald Trump said that about John Carl, who works for ABC. Direct connection. Direct connection. And they ended up firing, or not firing, but suspending Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I didn't get into the weeds with Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. I don't know whether he's suspended without pay or with pay. I don't know. Thank you for the donation, DJ. I appreciate you. I don't know if he got fired or suspended for with pay or without. But I hear, I don't know how many billions, but I think he's suing for at least $1 billion. I can look it up while we're talking. How much? They said they had to pay him Waterbug, Planet Waterbug. They said that. All right, cool. All right, I couldn't find anything. There's no lawsuit that's been filed as of yet, from what the information I got. The sources, I think, is Reuters. So I don't know where I heard that from. I heard it on the news, but I don't know if they haven't did it yet. No, he didn't say anything bad about Charlie Kirk whatsoever. He literally said the Republicans were using, basically, were trying their best to put, the killer of Charlie Kirk on everybody else but MAGA. So Charlie Kirk wasn't even the topic, really. It was really about the killer of Charlie Kirk. Was basically, came from a MAGA family. Did he not come from a MAGA family? And they're like, well, the inference is that he was MAGA. He didn't say he was MAGA. He said he came from a MAGA family. Anything else but MAGA. They came from MAGA. Did he not? Yes, he did. So what he said was factual. Your inference makes it look like it's not factual, but you inferred because that's the way you wanted to go with it. He didn't say that he was. He said anything else but from MAGA. Well, he was raised from MAGA. You can't excuse that. And that's what media, mainstream media, they're so afraid that they're trying to say, well, that's what he was meaning. I'm like, you don't know what he was meaning. A joke has different references in it, and it can mean whatever you want it to mean. You thought it was meaning he's saying that he is a part of the family. He could have said that, or he's saying that he was raised by the MAGA family. So he's in the MAGA family, and you don't see him attached to a liberal family. Hey, that's good. That's a good joke. And it's still factual. You could take it whatever way you want it, but the way it was delivered allowed you to believe whatever you wanted to believe without crossing the line and saying it was a definite. And it's a joke. And so you understand that MAGA is so wussy that you can't say nothing about him. And this guy, Brendan Carr, is out there being a hitman for Donald Trump. And why you believe this? Pay attention to what Donald Trump said when he was on the plane today. Or I don't know if he was leaving or coming. I don't know where it was, but I know it was on the plane. Check this out.
Look, that's something that should be talked about for licensing too. When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump. That's all they do.
They hit Trump. All they do is hit Trump. They talk about more than Trump. He just hears Trump. Their monologue will be about Trump for the day. If you stop putting yourself in the news every day, less of it would be about you. But every day you do something fucked up. Every day these tariffs, you bring out something. Every day you're trying to mess with some amendment or some kind of law. Every day you put out, at the very beginning, you were putting out these executive orders. They're not supposed to talk about you, or you want them to praise you for it? Well, again, it sounds like Donald Trump is trying to get Republican or MAGA night shows so that they can go on and praise Donald Trump with jokes and laughter. He's trying to change the scope, and that's what Brendan Carr was talking about, changing the scope of this particular thing. He's like, oh, it's not about one particular thing. You know, I'm just talking about overall. No, they want propaganda. They want to go on there and crack jokes and invite Donald Trump on and have a good time. He wants to be a part of this praise Trump shit. And it's like, no, Americans, over 70% of us are not going to ever praise your little fat fucked up ass. We ain't going to do it. Not at all. No matter who you put on the show, that shit's going to fail and flop as soon as possible. Because your people don't read and they ain't smart enough to catch on to shit. And they damn sure ain't staying up late to watch your praise when they can just watch TV every day in the morning on Fox and they got you praised. That shit will sync every station. And I ain't got no problem with it. ABC, you can go ahead and sync. Disney, go ahead and sync. Fuck you and the Mickey Mouse. Yeah, I said it. If you gonna fuck with my rights, fuck all. I don't give a fuck about none of it. Fuck Walt Disney. Fuck all y'all. If you are going to fuck with my rights, I am not gonna sit here and patronize me and buy shit from you and watch your movies. Fuck all your movies. I ain't watching them. The ones I like, I ain't watching them anymore. I'm done. You don't get to fuck with my rights and then expect me to put money in your pocket so you can continue to put money in your pocket and your family's mouths while you're fucking over my rights. It ain't gonna happen, bro. All your Disney shit, my Disney shit's gone until your ass fix this shit. The things that I've been asking for, one, Jimmy Kimmel has to come back. Two, you're the one that's gonna have to give the apology and give money to whatever organization Jimmy Kimmel wants you to give money to. Right? And then three, apologize to the American people for fucking with our rights. And four, make a commitment to fight for our rights and yours, First Amendment rights, by giving Donald Trump the fucking finger. Him and his minions, so what? What's the use of having a merger when the people who are going to buy your shit don't want shit to do with you? What's the use of having a merger if your stock's going to drop? What's the use of having all that shit if the people that are supposed to be supporting it says fuck you? Again, America, we got to unify. Unify around democracy. Not your particular issues that you want to get done. That's fine. But the division needs to stop. I keep telling you, and I'll keep saying it again and again. The only reason MAGA's winning is because over all the fucked up ideas they have, even if they believe they're fucked up, they fall in line no matter what. That's what the Republicans do. You would think they would like democracy, but they will fall in line and destroy this country. And we have to fall in line to literally save it. And then we can continue to have a democracy where we can fight for the individual issues that we want. But right now, if you ain't fighting for democracy, all that other shit you want, you can't have under a dictatorship. They're united over fucked up shit. We got to be united over loving and caring each other. The American dream will not be had under that type of rule. The American dream ain't never going to happen again under that type of rule. The only people who are going to have any kind of dream will be the oligarchs. And that's the Elon Musk, the Bill Gates, the what's the guy's name that owns Facebook? And then, I mean, all the rest of them. Those are the ones that are going to have the American dream forever and ever and ever. They already got it, but they want more. How is it that you're 100 billionaires, 78 billion, 90 billion, and you want more? That's just insane. They want more. You could never spend this money your entire life. And you're just buying and buying and buying, putting regular people, middle class people out of business. And now they want to get to be able to own one thing. This group that's trying, Next Star or something like that, this Jimmy Kimmel, but ABC is trying to merge. ABC, Disney, stuff like that, trying to merge with this next star, next gen, whatever the fuck it is. And the reason why is because they want to be able to buy more stations and own more of the viewing power. Right now, you can only own about 30, I think 30 something, 39, I think is the highest. It's under 40. So it's like 39, 35% of the market, meaning all the stations under your name, you can only have 30. They're trying to get to 80 people. What do you think is going to happen when 80% of the media is owned by one fucking company? You'll never get the truth. And right now, it's hard for them to tell the truth without being scared to say it. If we ain't fighting for it, who will? Yeah, KTLA becomes the next star. It's insane. We want to watch these things, but we have got to put our foot on their necks and say, no more. We see what you're doing with Donald Trump. You should be more afraid of us. You should be more afraid of us. Why? Because Donald Trump and all of them can give you all the money you want, but you ain't going to be able to sustain that shit if we ain't watching it, we ain't buying it, and we ain't got shit to do with you. So if people start to gather together, and again, we could break them in a matter of months. If a lot of us, the 70% of us, we reach out to each other and tell our friends and loved ones, we grow quickly and show them that we can make this happen in a matter of months. Of these people, give them a quarter or two of losing money, of constantly losing like their stocks and shit like that going down. And I know, at this point, it's like if the stocks go down and goes low, you guys start selling off. They'll end up buying up more stock because it's low, and they'll try and get rich and rich off of it. But if we continue to hold off and hold off and hold off, they'll start to lose money even by doing that. I am in this to break them. If they don't abide by helping out Americans and stop trying to fuck us over, we're the people who helped you, but you turn around and look at us like we're less than. We're the ones who make you who you are. We're the ones who make you who you are. You can go tech all you want, but if you start fucking with the majority of us, and it's our rights or your technology, I want my rights. I'll get rid of the technology. I'll get rid of anything. I'll start reading books more. Whatever it is, whatever you don't have, I'll be doing that. They think we're powerless because they have all the money. But the only way to maintain that money is if we keep on buying from them. I know necessities you got to get, but you ain't got to buy the products and stuff like that. You ain't got to buy the high-end products and shit like that. Find high-quality products straight from, Africa, from Asia, from whatever, and have that sent over to you. Forget the brands. Break them, because they think you need them. It's the opposite way around. They need us. They need us. And you put a stranglehold on the money. And trust me, we are focused on, as people who are poor or middle class or, poor compared to rich as people, we're thinking about, how long can we sustain something? And we'd be like, oh, I can try and do it. Rich people, they don't have to go broke to be scared that they're going broke. They just have to start losing value. A rich person, this is what I'm trying to get to some people. The reason why things work, these boycotts and bans work, because if you think about them going broke before they start making a change, they ain't gonna do that. These rich people are horrified at being broke, and for them, broke is, I was worth 100 billion, now I'm worth 85 billion. I lost 15 billion. They got issues with that. Not all of them. Some of them do. I would say that most of them do. The Elon Musk being the richest person in the world, if he was no longer the richest person in the world, he'd have a fucking fit. Probably jump off his boat, nosedive into some ice, because of the fact that it's no longer the powerful person that he thought he was before. They say he's going to be like the first trillionaire. Stop buying these Teslas. Take those bitches back. Everything this man has touched, take it back. Trade it in for a different vehicle. Trade it in for a competitor. I understand, it's a big change in your life. So is losing your rights. This shit right here ain't no joke. They're sitting here telling this man that he can't tell a joke, yo. A joke. Well, what Brian Kilmeade said literally was about mass murdering people on the street. He was talking about purging homeless people and had the nerve to go on Fox telling Jimmy Kimmel, you got what you deserve because, it's just responsibility. You're taking responsibility, accountability for your actions. So they let you, go or whatever. I was like, how evil does someone have to be? And how hypocritical somebody could be? Brian Kilmeade just should have shut your fucking mouth. Why did you open your mouth up knowing the shit you said the week before? You got away with it with just the apology that they wrote for you that you didn't even believe. And you walking through life still doing. That's why I know they're demons. That's why I know they're the devil. They're of the devil. There ain't no God or Christ in them. Because they do devilish shit and they revel in it. There's no attrition. There's no humility in them. They immediately go from one demonic thing to another. His reaction should have been, I got caught up in some stuff a while. I don't think it's right that we should be policing people for what they say. No, there's no humility. There's no sympathy. There's no empathy. It's pure hatred. And the only thing that's pure hatred is the devil. These people are of the devil. There is no love in them. There is no kindness in them. They just spew hate after hate after hate. He had a chance to say something to the point of look, I got mercy. I was shown mercy and I messed up. He should be shown mercy. Mine was way worse. I was going to unalive people. It's horrible and I'm working on that. But he just cracked the joke. None of that would ever come out of their mouths, ever. That means it can't be of God. God is all about repenting. How can you repent or in public say, I'm sorry, if you never do? You just triple down on it and you act like you're above everybody. He literally acted like he had a higher morality than Jimmy Kimmel. When he just asked for mass murdering people just because they were less than him in his mind. Of the devil. There is no God in them. I don't care how many times they say God's name, it's fake as hell. Because you see God through your works. Your works are trash. Therefore, you are too. Your words are trash. They're lies, deceptions, disrespect. There's no way in hell that you are of God. I don't care what anybody says and tries to no. He did not repent for his actions. This dude went out and made it seem like he was better than somebody else when he did something worse than that, just because he has the orange leader and the rest of these demons out here in charge. There ain't nothing godly about them. Everything they do is out of spite and hate. You don't see them smile. You don't see them happy. They're always fucking people over. Look at Stephen Miller. Complete demon. Complete demon. There ain't nothing redeemable about him. That dude right there would get turned down in hell. Hell would be like, nah, you don't know. There's another lower level area that's beyond hell. You can go there if they want to accept you. I think we just gonna destroy that you and ever existed. We ain't gonna do nothing with you. Cause even the devil is like, I ain't accepting them. Just listen to him. Some of the most hateful shit. Never smiles, always hateful. The only time they laugh about stuff, and not even laugh, they'll say like joking stuff in their text is when somebody's on the Democrat side is in pain somehow. They either get fired. Holman, when she was unalived, Holman, I forgot her last name. Unalived, the Democrat who was unalived, and her husband. Those Republicans, those demons, they didn't wish them well. The thing that kills me, Charlie Kirk was unalive. Obama came out and spoke in a positive way that he didn't deserve this. Bush came out. Clinton came out. Kamala Harris came out. A plethora of Democrats came out and said he didn't deserve this. Free speech. He should not be killed for his speech. And we feel sorry for Erica and the family. When the Minnesotan senator was unalive with her family and dog, did you hear any of them? When Nancy Pelosi's husband was hit in the head with a hammer at 80-some years old, did you hear them say anything good about him? They literally tried to say that he was in an affair with a gay lover, and that's why it happened. And crack jokes about it when it was a MAGA person hitting him in the head with a hammer because he was mad because of what Donald Trump said. Demons, yo. They literally do the horrible things and then tell everybody else they're horrible just so they can still have access to doing horrible shit. It's scary. It really is. They laughed at this man getting hit in the head with a hammer, yo. Have y'all ever been hit with a hammer? Not in the head. Don't get crazy. I'm saying just hit in the hand or anything like that. You just miss a nail and bap, and you ain't even going, kind of going full force, but not really. Boy, your whole thumb fucking turned black and red and blood and shit. This man was hit in the skull multiple times. This big dude, bigger than him, is swinging with his might. It ain't like he's swinging like, aw, ain't doing that. Even that would hurt like hell. He's swinging, pumping him in the head with a hammer, trying to kill this man. And Donald Trump laughed, made jokes about it. And that man, Nancy Pelosi's husband, never said anything cross in public about anybody. Never said any racist or homophobic or transphobic or white nationalist. He had the right to say what he wanted, but he didn't say shit like that. Wasn't divisive whatsoever. And they laughed. They made jokes about it on Fox. Jesse Waters, the drunkard lady, is now working for him in the office. All these people on that Fox and Friends shit was cracking jokes about it. It's like, oh, you know, and then they have the stories they ran with that. Like, it was really like a gay lover of his or something. I'm like, how are you going to tarnish the man who's the victim and not even say shit about the dude who did it? He was MAGA, and they left him out of the conversation. It's strange, y'all. They just work. They are the worst people rooting and playing Janet. I just don't see how. But we are not like that. We have to unify. So Donald Trump continues with this mess as if just because he get his little feelings hurt, our lives are supposed to change because he wants people to make him feel good. If you want somebody to make you feel good, take medicine. That's what that shit's for.
If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and you take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They're an arm of the Democrat Party.
They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that. They are licensed, but not to not talk about you. I mean, what? That lets you know right. That lets you know right there that the FCC were going to hold back their licenses, and they're going to do it to more stations that say anything bad about him. So now you got these billionaires who are a bunch of wussies. They got all the money. Now they're going to start capitulating to Donald Trump so they can keep making a lot of money. Never mind the fact of selling Americans down the river. So that's why I say, Americans, we have to be the ones that say, okay, you listen to him, then you lose us. So if your products decide that they need us for them to run, you either stand for the First Amendment or you stand against it. That means you are for Americans, the 70% of us, or 80%, or you're against us. You're for First Amendment or you're against it. You're for the Constitution or you're against it. You're for democracy or for dictatorship and autocracy. You make the decisions, because whatever you make, ABC, Disney, CBS, and all the rest focus on the fact that you need us. And trust me, we need to buy the fucking products that come on your air. And we're going to start taking note of every commercial that runs on your stations. And we're going to contact every last one of your advertisers and say we're no longer watching that shit. And we're no longer going to buy your products if you put your shit on their show. There's two could play this game. The American people can hold your ass hostage like he is. 100%. We're holding it for democracy. You guys are allowing it to fall the fuck apart for money. Democracy over this capitalism like greed. As I said before, capitalism can work for the many and help people. You guys give capitalism a bad fucking name. The greed is too strong, and we're tired of it. All right. David Letterman came out today, y'all. I hadn't seen him in a minute. Me and David, I have a connection with David Letterman. I went to his college, went to Ball State University. And it was, I'm going to sneeze again. He donated back in the day millions of dollars. Excuse me. Millions of dollars to build the state-of-the-art like television and film and radio stations there. So he had the David Letterman telecommunications building, and that's how I learned to do radio, television, film, all kinds of things, and in every aspect of like lighting and all different things. I learned that through him and through his organization that he paid for me and a bunch of my friends who are out here. Many of them are in the industry. If he hadn't donated that money, we wouldn't have been ahead of a lot of people. He made it so that Indiana was ahead of California with technology. We learned how to use equipment that UCLA and USC didn't even have, which was shocking because when I moved to LA, I'm thinking they have this stuff. And they're like, no, we don't have any. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? You don't have any. I had it in Indiana, but we had it because of David Letterman. So I owe him a very a debt of gratitude for the options that I had, opportunities I had. So if he ever hears this or sees this, thank you, David Letterman, for what you did. Much love. All right, let's listen to what he has to say.
I feel bad about this because we all see where this is going, correct? It's managed media, and it's no good. It's silly. It's ridiculous, and you can't go around firing somebody because you're fearful or trying to suck up to an authoritarian criminal administration in the Oval Office. That's just not how this works.
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. It's not how it works. Not at all. Of course, Obama came out about it before. I think he did it with a tweet today. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. And everybody knows it. I'm looking forward to all of the entertainers out there. You guys are going to have to stand up. I know you guys are in a union. I know you guys, when you guys were in a union, Jimmy Kimmel stood up for y'all. He did. In the industry, people were very appreciative of what he did while you guys were in a union. His show was, I believe, off the air. He could have ran with scabs, but he chose to stick with his team. You guys need to step up for him. For all the people who came on the show to get promoted on the show just so you could promote your items and so forth, and your products, your new movie, you need to stand the fuck up for the First Amendment. We're going to see you. We got our eyes on you. Nobody is going to be able to hide behind saying, I'm going to stay out of this shit. We're making note of all the people that utilize Jimmy Kimmel Live to promote your life. And when he needs you, and you're going to sit on your fucking hands, Oprah, you're going to sit on your fucking hands, Tyler Perry, you're going to sit on your fucking hands, Sylvester Stallone. I know you're Republican, but fuck that. This is how you made your living, going on shows like this. You owe a debt of gratitude to this man, and him getting fired for saying what he said, and you know damn well it wasn't that bad. While Brian killed me, you guys aren't crying to have that dude fired for what he said. Tells a lot. Lady Gaga, every artist that have been on this show performing your shit, Taylor Swift, y'all ain't saying nothing. Fuck all y'all. I said it, 100%. There's no way that you're going to sit back and allow them to take our rights and act like it's okay. It's not okay. Stephen Colbert didn't deserve it. No, he didn't deserve it. The only thing, the reason they look at Stephen Colbert, excuse me, I just took a drink. The reason why his thing wasn't as big, and it was in my eyes, but the reason why it wasn't so big to like the news and the media, even though it was wrong, they talked about it, don't get me wrong, was because ABC came out. You notice, not ABC came out, CBS came out and said, oh, this wasn't about that. This is about money. He wasn't making enough money, blah, 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 blah. He was the #1 show. So people were kind of up in arms, but they tried to hide it behind money. But they had a merger. So now that it's happened to Jimmy Kimmel, and it's the same thing about a merger, and seeing as how Skydance has already merged and got their shit done, and now to compete, ABC wants the same type of thing, I guess, with Nexstar, to be able to compete with them by having their blending together, by them blending different companies together. And it's chase for being a monopoly. They're destroying our rights in the process to make money. There's a way to make money, y'all, without destroying democracy. But that's what they're doing, and you should pay. You may think you're going to get this merger and life's going to get better. If the American people decide, and you need to decide that you're no longer going to be used as a pawn without having your voice heard, you can change it. They need us more than we need them. You and your kids, y'all can go out to the nearest beach or park or whatever and entertain yourself. You don't need Disneyland. You don't need Disney World. You don't need Disney Tokyo, whatever it is. You don't need it. Not at all. You may want it, but you don't need it. Do you want the Mickey Mouse or do you want your democracy? Choose. Do you want your ABC sitcom or do you want your democracy, your freedom of speech? Choose. When you put it that way, it sounds kind of crazy that you would choose a network over your own rights. Because you know what happens in the future. See, these people are rich. They're taking their jobs away, which they'll still be rich. But what this sets the precedent for is that you or me saying something, they can take our livelihood, not our jobs. Nobody can fire us. And YouTube makes too much money on the platform they have to like throw it out the window. What they can do is start arresting us. That's where it goes, the next phase. Start arresting us for saying these things, putting us in jail for these things. That's where it goes. Every dictatorship is that way. Whatever, Hungary went from whatever it was to an autocrat. That same way of having a dictator, it went that same way, and it took them longer than it's taken Donald Trump to change it. He's following their game plan. And we're falling right into their fucking hands. So if you're not doing something and you're sitting on your ass, you're a part of it. You might as well call yourself MAGA. You might as well call yourself MAGA. If you don't want to believe me, when you set your ass down, some of you, not in here, but people may hear this, and didn't vote, you're MAGA now. We told you Project 2025 was going to happen. We told you life was going to be fucked up. We told you there was going to be a dictatorship, and you sat on your ass. You got a second chance now. You see all the prices are going up while this fool walking around telling you prices are going down. When's the last time you bought some eggs or milk, Donald Trump? Never. This fool was looking at food that came from a grocery store like, wow, look at this. This is really food. He never shops. He don't know shit about it. Or you got to put out your ID to get some bread. Right then, you should have known the man was slow. So disconnected. He think you got to get out your ID to buy some bread. Like bread got alcohol in it. Insane. You want that democracy, or you want to end it, have some TV show, watch your own shit, make your own content, find people that you like that are doing stuff online, watch that. Stop allowing these people to determine how your life is going to turn out. The American dream is fading, and the only way you're going to get it back is shutting these people down. They're doing everything they can to destroy it. Everything's too high. People can't buy a home. People can barely get by. They have to, like, I saw a study earlier this week that I don't know what particular group of people it was talking about, but it was talking about a group of people have been cutting back on food. They're eating less just so they can make their food last. We are a rich country, y'all. Don't forget it. But the way they're treating this country, throwing on tariffs and lying to you, I don't understand how people can still trust their government when they tell you a tariff is not a tax on you, when you can literally look up the definition and they'll tell you that, what it definitely is. And you got Donald Trump telling you, oh, it's not a tax, and you can tell how stupid people are. They don't go look it up. You know how bad it is? I want y'all to pay attention to this. You know how bad it is about these tariffs and the lies that these Republicans and MAGA have been saying about the tariffs? They say, they say, well, it's going to hurt a little bit until it gets better, right? Mainstream media, start paying attention to, and mostly I've seen it on the clips of CNN and MSNBC. Mainstream media is now allowing Republicans to get away with saying that, that the tariffs, part of the tariffs is helping America. And you're like, what part are you talking about? What part of tariffs is helping America? You're starting to see them allow that statement to be said, even though when somebody else on the show will say, tariffs are a tax on the people. So, well, we brought so much money in from tariffs and it's really going to help the people. And that person would be like, respond back, well, that's not enough to help the people, as if there's a portion of it helping Americans. I'm like, how is a tax on Americans helping Americans? And I understand how they try to split hairs, because what happens is that the corporations, some of them, have decided to eat the cost because they have so much in their their profit margin, that adding that extra 10% still has a higher profit margin. So like you say, stuff came from China for, let's say, $1,500, there's Birkin bags, whatever. For $1,500, they sell them for a minimum of $15,000. So $1,500 to $15,000, you could pay 10% and still make some good money. So you can eat that, and you paying $15,000 for it, they can stay the same price. No big deal. But when they're getting shit like, eggs or bacon or, smaller items, and they're adding 10% to it, and you were buying it for $6.99, now it's $13.99, that's a huge difference. And they're not going to eat that cost. They may end up having you pay $9.99 for it instead of $6.99. They went up to $9.99, and then they'll eat the remaining $3 or whatever and try to help with it because they don't want to turn you off. But what happens with that is sneakflation. They'll end up sneakily adding another 10 cents to your thing, another 15, and it kind of gradually makes you feel like nothing's happening. It was $9, then it was like $9.20, then it's like $9.30, then it's like $9.50, and just keep on doing that for months and months and months. By the end of the year, it's like $10. They're making their money back. They sneakily inflate the stuff. But either way, it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you more for a car. It's going to cost you more for everything, for food, for eggs, and it already is. And it's only going to get worse because these people have no end. They're trying to make these things permanent. Understand these tariffs and these deals they're talking about? They're making this 10% shit permanent. Again, if you've been here, you know, but if you didn't, if it's your first time hearing me say this, tariffs used to be at 0 to about 3.5%. That's why things were cheaper to buy them overseas and you can get all this stuff coming in. Now, they're moving that shit up to 10%. You got to understand, from 0 to 10% is a lot. From 3 to 10% is a lot. So when this shit kicks in, usually it's going, for us, I believe, the last I heard, it was going to kick in around Christmas. We're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. Yeah. Chuck roast at $30 that was $15 last year, B Money. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the things are going up. And again, it's selective because, again, it depends on, because here's the thing. When we buy stuff from overseas, especially for us, if it's going to be food or meats or different things like that, it always kind of ranges, even when we have a good economy going, depending on the products or anything like that. Like remember when we had, I'm gonna date myself, but remember when we had what do you call that? Mad cow. So you never know when something like this is gonna happen. That's when shit kind of raised up. Now, if you raise tariffs and make things kind of high, what happens when we have mad cow disease again or whatever? That shit's gonna be extraordinarily high because they already raise it because there's less cash and it's less product. So it's less product that you have to pay more for it. What's going on over here? Are we having any issues there? Whoever my moderators, what's going on? Is something going on in here? It seems like somebody's going upset. What's the cast pen check? I don't know what's going on. I'll check out the messaging here in a minute. But those are the things that we're gonna have to pay attention to when these places start selling it to us, and they may have a shortage or whatever may happen. It may be weather issues, it may be mad cow disease, it may be whatever. When that shit happens, and it happens every year, something hinders a particular crop from another country coming to us, it's higher. And usually when you have 0 to 3% tariffs, you don't really feel it as much. Even though it'll go up, it may go up $1, $2 or whatever, but not $5 and $10 and $15 for it. And that's what's happening now. People are getting $5, $10, $15 without a shortage issue. Now, guess what happens if we're importing Kobe beef, and that's already kind of expensive, and then there's a shortage of it somehow. Oh, if that's the stuff you love, I got a friend who gets Kobe beef, like burgers or something like that, which aren't that expensive, but they're more than just the regular burgers. But if he's buying it for like $30, it's just gonna probably be like $75 if some shortage happens because of the tariff on top of the shortage. We got to think ahead of it. Thank you, DJ. I appreciate it. Whatever's going on, we got to stop the negative. It's a we thing in here. It's a we thing in here. Let's focus on we. Democracy. I understand people got different issues. I don't know what the topic was. I'm not going to get into the weeds of it because we want to stay on topic. And we got a few more things before we go. One is that the Republicans, some of these podcasters are really coming around because, again, they're understanding this is the thing that was really kind of messed up. And it's the thing about some of these MAGA people who are podcasting and so forth, is that they're on the right side for just a short amount of time. Like they're fighting right now. Some of them are fighting for the First Amendment right. But how long will they do it? That's the point. Will they fight until it's for sure that we have it? But if Donald Trump just promises it to them and not to us, will they sell us out? Some will. Probably the majority will. But I haven't seen this guy. I saw this guy on another show. I think it was Chris Hayes All In. I think that's where I got it from, MSNBC. I saw him on there earlier. And this is a clip of some podcast conservatives that are feeling like something's up. I don't think Tucker Carlson's on this one, but he may be at the end. I doubt this one. I think later we got a different one. Tucker Carlson. Don't hate me, but he said some shit that threw me off, but it really does work. Again, I don't know how long these people are going to be on any side, but regardless of what it is, if we can agree on these things, then we can work together for that. All the other shit, I ain't got nothing to do with it. But let's listen to this guy. I think his last name is Millahane. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but let's get it.
This was Trump and the FCC leaning on Disney, bullying them and the affiliate owners, and they capitulated to Trump. They're scared right now, and if Trump and the extreme right and this idiot who runs the FCC, they don't like somebody, they're going to bully them down.
In terms of censorship, freedom of speech is more under attack now, honestly, than I think it has ever been. If you're a staunch Trump guy, I think you should really look at, this guy said in the inauguration, I'm going to pass an executive order to end government censorship and make speech free again, or whatever it was that he said. Mm-hmm. You said that in your inauguration. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Exactly. What happened? Now, these guys appear to be the Republican side, but I've been seeing as of late some of these people who voted for MAGA are calling these people like far right people, or they're giving them a different label now. And it's so tripped out how they broke up from the Republican Party, like to that Tea Party stuff a while back ago. Then they ended up becoming MAGA. We had MAGA, then we had these really like strong Republican people who have strong views in the Republican side, like Liz Cheney, who agreed with Donald Trump like 97% of the things he wanted to put in place, until later when he started showing his true self to her, because he was showing it to us the entire time. She didn't recognize it for some reason. All right, so she comes over to the Democrat side and literally campaigns with Kamala Harris. And now you got them trying to split down the middle. These two men right here, they voted for Trump. They're trying to split that there's a far right like MAGA as opposed to a MAGA. There's a far right MAGA. And it's killing me how the far right MAGA is Donald Trump. How do you separate yourself from the dude that you elected, while at the same time, Democrats, some liberals, not all, some of them went too far right and started going for Jill Stein and all that shit like that, but we told you this shit was going to happen. And now that it's happening, you're talking about, well, I voted for him, but he wasn't like this. It was this far right that wants him to do this. I'm like, dude, Donald Trump is far right and wacky as you can get. You're just coming to grips that you empowered that. And now you're trying to separate yourself from the idiocy. This man is literally trying to take freedom of speech away. And these people, as well as myself, we're on a platform where we having our free speech, saying what we want to say. And these people are way making more money than me. I'm not making hardly any money at all, but enough to keep the stuff going. And I appreciate it. But these people are making like hundreds of thousands of dollars and shit, an episode and all that shit like that. They see that possibly going away. Again, it is money that motivates these people. Now they're starting to get about themselves like a morality. Oh, wait a minute, you just can't just kick somebody off for saying. And they're, some of these people are comedians. They're like, that wasn't bad at all. It was so tame. Now they talk about before cancel culture, what you can and cannot say. This shit right here is getting rid of your First Amendment right, period. And so now they're coming out and saying anything. We don't have to agree on everything, but you guys can sign the petition. Whoever the hell y'all are, that's all your names. But of course you can sign a petition. As long as we're on the same side for First Amendment rights, I'm good. I may not agree with 99.99% what y'all saying on other stuff, but on this, we can agree. And we can say bye-bye to ABC, bye-bye to Disney, bye-bye to CBS, until they make the decision that the First Amendment and the Constitution and the people come before dollars. Because without us, there are no dollars to be had. Again, we have to unify around that and sacrifice around that in order for that to come to fruition. I'm down. I know a lot of people in here down, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Even in the Wall Street Journal, I believe, Karl Rove, he even wrote something about they didn't say nothing about Charlie Kirk. They didn't say anything bad about Charlie Kirk or something like that. See if I can look up. He says, he said that they didn't kill Charlie Kirk. They didn't kill him. So why are you pressing them like they killed him? He told a joke. He didn't kill nobody. And that was Karl Rove. You know Karl Rove is far right. But and what gets me is that the Liz Cheney's, the Karl Roves, the Mike Pences, the Tucker Carlsons, all of them are the ones that gave this life. And just like any other thing, that a monster that you give life to, eventually that monster will turn on you. And every last one of them, Steve Bannon too, every last one of them have fed this monster, gave it nourishment. Instead of poisoning it and killing it, they gave it nourishment, empowered it. Because it was benefiting them, giving them money in their pockets, making them powerful, getting their voice out there, having followership and different meetings and so forth, and everybody's following them, and they got puffed up in the chest that they're this or that, selling things to become millionaires because Donald Trump moved the crowd, so to speak. And now that this monster is alive and pretty much have kicked them to the curb and have become even more emboldened, now they want to come out and speak timidly, but still against Donald Trump without mentioning his name. How do you give life to something and then act like you're not responsible for this monster living? Only you, the ones who created this Frankenstein, can run up and take the battery out of its back. Only you can do it. But you guys don't have the balls to do it. And that's the messed up part. You wanted Donald Trump because he's your testicle. He's your testicle. He done neutered all of y'all. Which one of y'all gonna stand up and be an actual man? Or woman for that matter. There's no way in hell, if you are a good person, that you can see what he's doing and say, I'm down with that. You need to get out of your head that he's doing it to own the libs. He's doing it to own the country. And you're a part of the country. Quit getting suckered into believing that you're going to get some little a trophy when this man is not faithful to anybody. Once he snatches the country up and become a dictator, you too, Republicans, say something cross, just like you did right now, that person who just that did the podcast. You won't be able to say what Donald Trump did without hurting his feelings. And at this point, by the time he gets to regular people, we're going to be put in jail. They don't have no FCC for us. They're going to be trying to put us in jail or sue us off the air. Fight now so that you don't have to fight later. Or fight now so that you don't have to post bail later. 7-1. It's up to you. 8-5 on fire. It's all right. We almost done too. We got one more. And that is Mike Pence came out, y'all, to say something. Again, somebody who put the fertilizer down, seeded this brand of conservatism, capitulated to it, and was almost unalived for being in the party. If Republicans don't see that you got your right-hand man, the vice president, and you were willing to have him hung so that you can become the president and that he won't look like a loser in other people's eyes. And then talk about he's like the law and order president when he let out a bunch of criminals while being a criminal himself. These people, highly delusional. But Pence came out to say some things, and I do believe Tucker Carlson's on this one. Hear what they got to say.
We got to be careful about putting America on trial whenever we see evil overtake the hearts of any individual. And in this case, absent additional facts, there was one person responsible for Charlie Kirk's assassination. He needs to be brought to justice, swift and certain. Can people in public life do better in the way that we speak with one another and about the issues facing the country? Of course, I think democracy.
Can we do better, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, Starch Manny. I appreciate the $5 this week. A lot of Christian nationalists that the mass slip not about Jesus, Christianity, free speech, democracy, control, and supremacy. Most definitely. Thank you for your donation. Yeah. Why would I have to change the way I speak? And I understand he's trying to be. This is one thing also, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I don't know if it's a pet peeve of y'all's, but it is highly one of mine. I am sick of whenever a Republican fucks up, we got to say on both sides of the aisle. No, tape your lumps when you fuck up. Don't try and push it on anybody else. I hated that as in my family, my friends, a teacher did it at school, in college, whatever. I hate jobs. I hate when a boss will come into a room and blame everybody and their mama for the problems of their star pupil or star employee. They're coming here like, well, we all need to work a little bit harder to make this room work a lot better. We need to put in a little more effort. Where's my A team at? I'm like, well, you got an A team. That little F over there that you hired from your wife's cousin or some shit, that's the little shit that you need to speak to by himself. You ain't got to speak to him in front of us, but take his ass into the room and light into his ass to fight or get the fuck out. Don't come speaking to the whole damn room about that fuck up. And that's what this country does too much. And people on media and shit like that, social media, they both sides this, both sides that. I'm like, where in the hell is both sides? When one party is talking about we don't want racism, the other parts over there are talking about racism is fine. I'm like, how is it that it's both sides? Well, there's some racists on your side, but what's that got to do with anything? We're talking about one person's racist act, not the entire world's. Take the responsibility. I'm sorry, my bad, whatever. Take that responsibility. Quit trying to push it on everything. I don't like it when Dems do it. I don't like it when Republicans do it. We need to take responsibility for the action that we're being held accountable for. If I did something, I don't need to bring up, but you did it 3 years ago. What is that? Take responsibility. 3 years ago, if I did it, I took responsibility for it. And I haven't done it since. You're doing it now. Take responsibility for it and don't do it again. But don't try to use somebody else's excuse. Oh, this person did it. Well, this person did it. Neither one of you should have done it. So why is that an excuse? It's not. It's not a legitimate one. Responsibility, take it. Learn from it. Move forward. Get better. Simple as that. But we've let too many times, and I keep seeing it in social media, I keep seeing it in mainstream media. I'm like, I am sick of people not taking responsibility for their actions. For their actions, nobody else's. Nobody made you say or do what you did. You're a grown human being, man or woman, and you made a decision to make that fuck up. Now, many times we fuck up and didn't mean to make it, but it happened anyway. You still can't take responsibility for it. Didn't mean it to happen, but man, how can I stop this? Because I did it, but how do I stop it from happening again? That's that internal dialogue. Not to sit there and be like, well, if you wouldn't have been here, you wouldn't have seen it. What kind of logic is that? That's that Trump-ass logic. Remember that fool said, stop testing for COVID. Because if you test less for COVID, then less people have COVID. I'm like, what? And his minions were like, yeah. I'm like, what? All that means is that people got COVID, but they're just not getting tested. They're just going to die. Yeah, it's just, it's crazy. Exactly, Jen James. When they talk about these farmers and they're not taking responsibility for it, like I said, I feel bad for them, but I don't want to bail them out because they're the very ones that were telling people who were on welfare, whom they tried their best to make it seem like it was black people or people of color more, when it's mostly white people who are on it. They keep saying over and over again, you guys need to pull yourself up by your bootstrap. My money shouldn't be going your money to feed you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then your money, our money, shouldn't be going to pay for your animals and your farm. Figure it the fuck out. You chose it. Our money should not be coming to save you. Our money should not save you. You effed up. Now pay the consequences. Who else does it? In my businesses, in one of my businesses, if I fuck up, who am I going to call? Not Ghostbusters. And I sure as hell ain't going to call the government, because what's going to happen? You just file the appropriate taxes. Try again. They ain't going to sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, how many people you doing this for? Oh, about 10,000. 10,000 people? Well, we can't help you out, but, you know, good try. I'm not getting anything. You shouldn't get shit. You should chalk it up as I fucked up and next time I'll do better. You voted for it. That's just like opening up your door and putting a sign on the wall and saying, come in and rob me. And then be pissed off when you come home and all your furniture gone. Be like, what happened? Like, fool, you wrote on the door, rob me, and left the door open. What you expect? What did you expect? Your shit gonna still be there? Dipshit.
Hypocrisy depends on heavy doses of civility.
You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if it is, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever, and there never will be.
So he was talking about it's okay to riot and act a fool if, you know, we losing our First Amendment right. being able to say what we want to say, or hate speech. He ain't even talking about First Amendment rights, even though that's a part of it. He's talking about they should be able to say hate speech. And without saying it, without us being able to say hateful things, we gonna fight. Now, whatever you get to give us our First Amendment right, but that's the first thing you go to, you know what kind of person you are. You want the right to say hate speech. And I'm like, why aren't you saying the right to say whatever I want to say? If it's hateful, fine. But your focus was on hate. Your focus should be on rights. It's just insane to me. Thank you, Deborah. So it didn't make any sense to me at all. We need to figure this out. You see the petition at the top of the chat. You can sign up for it. Again, I'll try and get an update once I get the account opened up again. It's still accepting though, but I got to get back in touch with change.org. Something happened, so we'll figure it out. That came on before I got to the show. But anyway, we have to fight for it because it's not going to be given to us. Donald Trump and his minions are breaking the laws. Our leadership are trying to sue their butts away. Some of it's working, some of it's not. But even when these lawsuits happen, these judges do not have the power to arrest or admonish any of those people. That's still the power. That power is still within the president. So he's not going to arrest himself. The DOJ and also like that, they're not going to arrest him or anybody in his cabinet for that matter. So suing is one thing, but I'm looking at it as we got to fight. This is a war on America, just like anything else. But we have to fight this digitally, going out and marching too, depending on where you're at. They say they had some marching out at ABC. I may do it on the weekend or something like that, but I'll think about that and try to set something up. And then we have to fight for this. There's no way. The only way we defeat it is we match it with the same energy, and we can really determine whether hate and love wins. Hate and love wins, whichever one wins. Right now, hate is winning. Right now, hate is winning, and we're losing. Love is losing. We have to fight just as hard as they are, but with love and a strategy. We can't just ask people to do something and they don't know what to do. We none of us were built for this. As far as like, we didn't know this was going to happen. We knew Project 2025, but I'm talking about this stuff has been going on for 50 years. These people have been planning this shit for 50 years. No wonder when they got in, it's taking them less than, a certain amount of time, less than a year to get this stuff implemented. We're still catching on. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? And our leaders, Democrat and independents, they're out there fighting the fires in front of them, not knowing that they have set the entire building on fire and you don't see it. Every aspect of our government is being fucked with and we don't see it. Many of these things are behind the scenes to the point where the foundation is rot. And we're messing with the fire on top, but the foundation is rot. It's sinking. And the only way we can defeat this is with love and with people on the streets, people signing petitions, people calling Disney, calling ABC. Do I still have that? Let me see if I have the numbers for that. Hold on. I wrote a script and everything for everybody to read. Like I said, when I get the account back, I can be able to put it back up there once they give it back to me. But then there's the ABC like operator line. There's a Disney operator line for the corporate. That is, I'm gonna give it to you, Disney ABC. That is 212. I'll put it in here. 212-456-3361. How the hell did that work out? 212 456. That's the Disney operator. All right. That's the Disney operator line, and then the Disney or the Disney ABC television group. Take care, Dennis. That number, I'll get that. All right, and if you guys can, good night, Kristen. Take care. People are already leaving. Did you lose your petition? I didn't lose it. It's my account, but it's like an old email was in there, and the old email, it canceled out. I don't know how. I don't know what they did to cancel it out, but I tried to change it before it was going out. It was like telling me something is going out, so then I changed the email back to my original email, and yeah, it's still up, but it doesn't have my account attached to it right now. So I've been online trying to figure it out. There's no phone number to call them, so yeah, but it's still there. Just keep people going there. I'll get into it eventually. It may take me some time, but keep doing it. And did I have the script? No. There's a short script that I wrote to keep everybody kind of like on topic. See if I can find it. This one. Yeah, here's a shorter one. Good night, Jen. Oh, it's too many. Too many characters won't let me do it. As soon as I get it up, I'll put it in there for you guys. Because it won't let me take it. It won't let me do it. It's too long for a comment. So the new one, I'll sign it and send it out. Thank you, 5 on Fire. I'm going to hit them up. I just hit them up early before the show. I'm going to try and see if I best can get in touch with them. And so I don't want to kind of have that confusion. Just keep signing up on that. I should be able to get back into it, hopefully by the end of the night or tomorrow. So we'll work on that. Thank you, Jen James, for the memberships. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, Jen. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get up out of here. I appreciate you guys for being here. Go sign a petition, tell people about it, keep it going. We'll have up the other part of being able to have people call. We got to keep putting it on them because they can't. It's bigger than Jimmy Kimmel. It's First Amendment rights. They should not be able to mess with that, or we'll mess with them. So I already there's so many people who can send me messages. They've canceled out all their Disney stuff, and I'm thankful for that. Thank you guys. It's a we thing, not a me thing. All my Disney stuff is gone. ABC, I didn't have any of that. I got cable stuff all gone. It has ABC. All I got is internet. All that shit's gone. So I ain't asking you necessarily to give up your internet, your cable, but I did. Thank you, Fire on Fire. I appreciate it. So you guys have a good night and be safe. You know how you can always support your boy if you can. I'll put that information up real quick. Thank you. Who said you rock? Thank you, Rudy and Planet Janet. I appreciate you. We got to fight for the truth. We got to fight for what's ours. And again, This makes no sense, and I don't see how any American. This is how I know MAGA is not American. They're not patriotic. They must love Russia. They must love Hungary. They must love North Korea, but they do not love America. Because if they loved America, they'd be fighting for America. Fuck Republican and Democrat. Fight for America, democracy. And you're not fighting for it. So that tells you right there, you don't love America if you're not fighting for the rights for all of us to say what we say to each other. And that's exactly what Charlie Kirk was doing, saying whatever he wanted to say. And you guys are going against the dude you said you loved and how he was doing it. So it tells me you didn't give a fuck about the First Amendment right. You just wanted him to spew hate and get away with it. He was your hero to getting away with it. That's the way I see it. Good night, Nina. Good night, everybody. Thank you for the mods. I appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, I'll see you when I see you.